On Thanksgiving Day in 1976, Officer Robert Torsney of the NYPD did something unimaginable. Without any apparent reason, he drew his service revolver and fatally shot 15-year-old Randolph Evans in Brooklyn. When questioned by his fellow officers just moments later, his response was haunting. "I don't know. What did I do?"
Torsney was later diagnosed with a rare neurological condition that caused him to act without conscious thought, a state known as automatism. The court ultimately ruled him not guilty by reason of insanity, raising a deeply unsettling question. How do we hold someone accountable for actions committed when they aren't in control of their mind?
Torsney's case resulted in acquittal, but the legal debate is far from settled. Should individuals be held criminally liable for actions they commit while unconscious or mentally impaired? We argue that they should not, for two key reasons. The first reason being, control is necessary for liability, and the second being, punishment without liability is ethically flawed. Let's unpack these.
Premise number 1. Control is necessary for liability. To hold someone liable, there must be intent, or, at the very least, awareness behind their actions. A person who's unconscious, be they a sleepwalker or someone having a medical episode, is not in control, and they just does not have the deliberate control required to choose their actions. Let me explain with a simple analogy. Imagine you're playing a game of chess, and halfway through, your opponent spills some juice and accidentally knocks the pieces off the board when they're trying to clean it up. Would it be fair to claim victory and run around screaming it? No, because the disruption wasn't intentional. It was beyond their control. Similarly, punishing someone for an act committed while unconscious is ethically problematic.
Premise number 2. Punishment without control is ethically flawed. The justice system is built on the idea of fairness. This is not the world of A Clockwork Orange. We punish people not just to deter crime, but because we believe they deserve it. However, if someone couldn't control their actions, how can we say they deserve to be punished? Moreover, punishing someone in such situations does not achieve justice. It merely perpetuates suffering. A person who has inadvertently killed someone will carry the emotional and psychological burden of that tragedy for life. Imprisoning them does not have a valid ethical purpose.
Let's talk about intoxication. The issue could not be more salient. There are thousands of drunk driving cases in the UK yearly. Unlike automatism, caused by a neurological condition, intoxication raises a complex question. Should someone be held accountable for actions that they commit under the influence, even if they weren't fully in control? The legal system often distinguishes between voluntary and involuntary intoxication, but the lines blur in real-life scenarios.
Imagine someone unknowingly consuming a spiked drink and then committing a crime. Here, the lack of intent aligns with the principles of automatism. There was no conscious choice at all. On the other hand, voluntary intoxication, such as getting drunk and driving or acting recklessly, complicates things. While the person may not have intended harm, they made a conscious decision to lose control, which creates a moral and legal distinction.
The case of Mayuski in 1977 set a precedent in English law that voluntary intoxication is not a defence of crimes with basic intent. But is it fair for us to assume foresight of all possible consequences? Confusing negligence with intent only undermines the principle of justice. After all, your conscious intention was only to take the substance, not to commit the crime.
At the heart of this issue is the question, do we value justice or retribution? True justice lies in fairness, and fairness requires understanding the limits of human control.